CNN is doing polling that is showing that the president of the United States, despite the usual nonsense and noise in the background, is seeing record highs in popularity. And I want to roll some of this from CNN this week. Harry Enton, on the audio here in the CNN studios, had this to say from their recent poll.
I think sometimes it's important to do a little bit of reality check and take a little different spin at the numbers. I'm going to do that right here because all we talk about is how unpopular Donald Trump is. But in reality, he's basically more popular than he was at any point in term number one and more popular than he was when he won election back in November of 2024. What are we talking about? His net favorable rating right now comes in at -4 points. Compare that to where he was when he won in November of 2024 when he was at -7 points, or March of 2017 when he was at -10 points. So when you compare Trump against himself, he's actually closer to the apex than he is to the bottom of the trough. And of course, that's so important because Donald Trump, historically speaking, has had his numbers underestimated. So I think it's very important to compare him to himself to understand he's actually more popular now than he was when he won, or certainly where he was at this point back in his first term. The bottom line is Trump is more towards the ceiling than he is towards the floor.
All right. He's more towards the ceiling than he is towards the floor. That is Harry Enton, CNN, this week, breaking down the numbers. See, what you're seeing is the same old playbook from, I guess, 8 years ago now, where the media is like, we're going to take him down, we're going to push these narratives, and it's going to sink him in the midterms, and it's going to sink, obviously, the party come 2028. And the American voter is like, nah, not this time around. We see the game that you're playing, and sorry, we actually like a lot of the stuff that is going on right now. We don't forget the last 4 years. Now, if you sit in this MSNBC bubble, then you may think to yourself, man, we got him. We got him. He's done. He's finished. He's right where we want him. And I've got a totally different feel today in March of 25 than I had, let's say, in March of 2017, 2 months into term number one, when, let's be honest, he had some bad people working for him. He didn't really know what he was doing. He didn't realize how bloated this bureaucracy was, how much power people had who were unelected bureaucrats in the entire government establishment. It's a totally different guy with a totally different agenda, and most importantly, a totally different group of people largely surrounding him. Now, they've got to be careful. I will say that. I know I was out of town for this whole Signal app debacle, and that was a screw-up. I will admit that. That was a screw-up. Of course, it's not what the media made it out to be. They spent more time on guys in a group chat than they ever did on, Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan, which resulted in 13 people getting killed, including one of our own in Missouri. But neither here nor there. Yeah, they screwed that one up. Got to be careful. Don't feel yourself too much, okay? Stay focused. And if there's one minor mistake I would say Trump has made with some key hires in his cabinet, it's putting loyalty over experience. I understand why, with everything he's been through, he wants loyalty at the top of the list. But you can't sacrifice loyalty for experience. You just can't do it. And that is something that some of us questioned early on, and it may have been the result of some sloppiness in a group text on a Signal app in the last, couple of weeks. But of course, it's never what the media turns it into. And if you think that the American people are like on the edge of their seats, wanting to know what Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic was seeing and screenshotting in a Signal app chat between Waltz and Hegseth and J.D. Vance, I mean, you're a loser that has no life. And when the people who are outraged over a group chat whistled past the graveyard of 13 service members in this country, going back to the summer of 2021, your credibility is just completely shot. But yeah, you still got to do a better job. Both those things can be true at the same time. You still got to clean it up a little bit. But the notion that the guy's fallen off a cliff here the first couple of months is just simply not true. And there was also a YouGov poll that dropped yesterday. And here's what the YouGov poll showed. President Donald Trump has a positive approval rating among Latino Americans, 48 to 47%. And of course, the backdrop of this is what? The backdrop is, oh, man, he's throwing out all these criminal illegal immigrants. I mean, this is really going to be a big hit with folks in the Latino community. They're really going to turn on Trump now. No, they're not, because guess what? You know, it's kind of universally appreciated by Americans of all backgrounds, getting criminals off the streets.
Talk about a bombshell.
I know that's news to many who advocated for, defunding the police and put St. George Floyd up on a statue and a pedestal and the whole thing. But guess what? Latinos, whites, blacks, Asians, not big fans of criminals. Not big fans of people who are in the country illegally and pushing fentanyl into our communities, running gangs in our communities, and committing crimes in our communities. It's not popular. And it doesn't take some, political wonk to come to this very obvious conclusion. So that's why these numbers are where they're at. Of course, we'd like them to be better. But historically, under this administration, they're pretty darn good right now.